I just woke up, but look at this. Whoa. Whoa, what the fuck? Craziness. Not too bad. Look who's also here again. Milo! Yeah, who's a good boy? Oh, he's looking off into the distance. Not anymore. So I'm reading right now this book, Principles, and it made me think about taking advice and how we should take advice and who we should take advice of. Because it's important, because if you think about it, taking another person's advice and following it means pretty much blindly believing what they said and then going ahead and doing that, even though you don't have, you don't have like upfront a way to tell whether it's true or not. Because if you had, then you would know it yourself already, right? So who do you believe, whose advice do you believe and whose advice do you take? And I think too often we just go after, I like this person and therefore I take his or her advice, or I know that person has my best has my best interest in mind, so I'll believe them, like my best friend or my mom. Like, they want the best for you, so probably the advice is good. But I think that's bad. And I think the advice we should take is of people who have repeatedly and continuously gotten the result that we want to get by getting that advice. So let's say you want to make $1 million, right? And you want to figure out how to get there. Whose advice should you take? Well, probably a person who repeatedly and continuously was actually able to make $1 million. Not just once, because everyone can get lucky once, or you can win the lottery and that's how you get the $1 million, but who have repeatedly done that, because those people's advice is believable, right? Like, should you take your mom's advice on how to make $1 million? Should you take your best friend's advice, who has read a lot of books on how to make $1 million? Probably not, because, well, if they are giving you advice on how to make $1 million, but they never were able to make $1 million themselves, there are really only two options. Either they are wrong and their advice is wrong, which is exactly the reason why they never were able to make the $1 million, or the advice is right and they actually do know how to make $1 million, but then that somehow means that they didn't take their own advice, which is weird, because if you know how to make $1 million, why would you not do it, right? But the bigger problem is, like, you can't tell which one of the two it is. Are they wrong or are they right, but they don't follow their own advice? And so you pretty much like make a random guess by believing them and taking their advice. So don't do it, and especially now with the internet, like, you can actually find all the people who got the results you want to get. Like, before that, like 20, 30 years ago, like, you didn't have access to any millionaires unless you got lucky. So you weren't able to ask anyone. Now there are fucking thousands of videos on YouTube where they talk about, how they got there and what they did and how they think about stuff and their mindset. So go ahead, find the people who got the results that you want to get repeatedly and continuously, and those are the people whose advice you should take, I think. Just a quick extra note to it, because I think the $1 million example is pretty obvious, right? But if you think about it, that's exactly what we do. We take people's advice when they never got the results we want to get. Like, let's say you don't want to go to college and you want to make money online, or, you know, figure out how to be, you know, a singer or, you know, a dancer or an actor, and that's your dream. But all the people you listen to for advice are your parents, are your friends, is your fucking family, and none of them are an actor, are a musician, dropped out of college, or made money online. Like, they never got the results you want to get in life. Yet, here we are, listening to their advice, you know? Yeah. So I think I just realized one of the reasons why standing desks have an extra beneficial benefit. Obviously you're standing, which means, you know, it's healthier for your body and shit. We all get that. But I think one other thing that you might, you know, that people might not be considering is because you are already standing, you are much more in the mode of, you know, go and getting shit done. For example, just a small thing. So I had the idea to setting this up, which is this week's questions, where I put like things I want to ponder throughout the week, like stuff that I want to like constantly keep in front of my head, in front of my mind, whatever, to, you know, like digest during the week. And I needed tape, and I needed paper background. And I feel like if I would have been sitting, I would have been like, oh, you know, I have to get up and go downstairs and, you know, get all that stuff. I can just do it, you know, later when I'm like already up and downstairs for some other reasons, and then I can grab the tape and just do it then, you know. It doesn't fucking matter if I do it now or in an hour. But that's obviously like a fucking excuse. And it's just a tiny thing, like you're not even noticing that. But because you're already standing, you're just like, oh yeah, let me just quickly grab the tape. I'm not sure though, but I feel like that's a thing. Let me know if you think that's a thing.
Hard to wake up when there's no alarm to wake you up.